would your life feel like if you were so confident in yourself that you called in the most incredible partners that valued you and that excited you and that really turned you on? Or what would it be like if you had the kind of relationship where instead of living like roommates, you felt like when you first got together and you had that romantic spark and they were all you could think about? What if you were the kind of lover that your partner swoons, can't stop thinking about? Then today's episode of Your Sexual Revolution is for you. I'm going to break down the 5 levels of erotic and emotional intelligence so that you can tell exactly where you are on that spectrum and exactly where you want to go. Because what I was just describing sounds pretty juicy, right? If you want to get out of that basic level that has you disconnected in partnership, feeling lonely in the bedroom with your person, and chasing partners that ghost you, or being totally unavailable yourself and perpetually single, if you want to transform that, then listen to today's episode. Because the truth is, you cannot intervene in a world you cannot see. And one of the most important aspects of doing this work is honest assessment, both by yourself and with a mentor or guide such as myself. My name is Amaya Shiva, and I'm a sex and relationship coach who has supported hundreds of singles and couples from around the world. I help conscious men and women overcome insecure attachment, low confidence, and heal sexual shame so that you can attract sexy, sacred, and secure partnership of your dreams in long-term relationship instead of feeling like friends or disconnected roommates. This topic is near and dear to my heart because, like so many of us, I started my journey on the basic level. When I first started having sex, I was definitely modeling what I saw in Hollywood, and my erotic life suffered for it. I didn't have any frameworks for connection. I didn't know what my erotic desires were. I didn't even know that there were different types of erotic desires, right? This really unfolded for me in my 30s and now 40s. And I was having like mediocre encounters and relying on alcohol to feel confident and expressed in myself, which isn't actually feeling confident and expressed. It's just being drunk. Let's be honest. And the journey I've taken over the last decade has transported me to another realm of consciousness. And this episode is for those of you who want to shortcut the time it takes to be conscious and embodied in your partnership, who want to enjoy sex without shame or fear or guilt, and who are ready to take ownership of exactly where you are so that you can get where you want to go. Let's start at the beginning, is the kind of bottom level of this pyramid, right? This is where you're engaged in performative-based sex. If you've been following my work at all, you know what that is. And if you haven't, I'll explain to you right now. Performative-based sex is what you were modeled in Hollywood, in your peer groups, and high school, most likely. And this is where sexual encounters are looking for an outcome, such as genital penetration and orgasm, to feel like they are complete and to make you feel like you did a good job. When you're in the basic level of erotic and emotional consciousness, you're chasing sex mindlessly. You don't have conversations about desires or boundaries. You might drink to feel comfortable in your body. You're engaged in unhealthy relationship practices, like you guys don't have real conversations. Your partner doesn't even know your real fantasies, like this. And this is where most people end up because we aren't taught this stuff in school. You have to seek it out. I mean, I just did the math earlier, and I have spent $75,000 over the last decade on my personal enrichment, and I wouldn't change that for the world, because the results have been a completely transformed consciousness and life that reflects it, right? I get a lot of clients who are very spiritual and very conscious men and women. But when it comes to sex and their eros and their emotional intelligence, they're still operating based on what their parents modeled, and they haven't upgraded in that part of their lives. And before we get into this conversation, I want you to understand the difference between standards, your ideals about your romantic connections and your erotic encounters are not the same thing as what you are experiencing, which reflect your standards. If you are in a long-term relationship and you're not having sex and you haven't had sex for 3 years and you sleep in separate rooms, this is your standard of relationship. Your ideal might be something else, but this is where you have allowed yourself to be. Same thing with dating. If you're dating and you're consistently getting ghosted or feeling hurt by connecting with emotionally unavailable partners that leave you feeling fragile and sensitive, this is your standard of care. And I'm saying that with love because I used to be there too. It's the same with your business. It's the same with your bank account and your living situation, right? All of these reflect your standards, not your ideals. So what I want to help you do is compress the time it takes for you to move from your standard place where you are now on this pyramid, on these levels, to where you want to be in just 3 to 6 months' time. And all you have to do is go to amayashiva.com and click apply for free consult if you are truly committed to this work. This isn't for you if you just want another freebie or to just talk about yourself mindlessly for 30 minutes. No, this is for the people who want a clear, concise plan of action and a powerful, loving guide who will hold you to your highest to help you get there. So, what is the next level beyond basic? This is stirring. This is the level where you start to recognize that something is missing from your intimate life, right? You don't feel connected and you're starting to wonder why. You've gone on that same date that you used to go on with new people to that place you used to love, and it's not doing it for you anymore. You want more, but you don't really know how to ask for it. And you're not even clear about what your true desires, needs, and feelings are yet, but you know that something's off, right? You're starting to open your mind and you don't quite know what to do or where to go next. But you know there is a next. This might be where you start to buy sex toys and explore that part of yourself, explore pleasure practices like this. You're also starting to notice that your social circle isn't reflecting your values. Like that same old happy hour that you used to go to will feel boring and draining, the same old gym workout, whatever it is. Something's just feeling dry and rote in your life. And at this stage, if you're in relationship, you'll become aware of you and your partner having drifted apart. And you'll notice that you're not connected like you want to be, or even like you used to be. And you want to change that, but you don't know how, right? This is also where even though you want to do something different, you aren't really doing anything about it. Still not having the conversations you need to. You haven't had sex in years, or it's just been like once a month on schedule just so that you can check a box, but it nags at you, right? This is the difference between basic and stirring. In basic, you just kind of ignore it. In stirring, it bothers you. You're like, I can't do this anymore. And there has to be an alternative. I can't keep hiding behind my work. I can't keep hiding behind my desk. This needs to be dealt with. Which brings me to level 3, which is awakening. And I love this level for so many reasons. Because at this point, you have declared fuck this to your former life of repression, unsatisfying connection, of making yourself small, just to please some made-up idea by society, whatever the fuck that is, about how you should behave and what's okay for you to have and what's not. You know, you're tired of being a good girl or a good boy. And you're getting deep into the books, right? You're getting deep into the podcasts. You're here. You're probably listening to me because you're awakening and you want a new level of erotic and emotional intelligence that matches the you are becoming. that you are excited to reveal to yourself and the world. This is where you've started to dip your toes into new social circles, right? You still feel a little awkward and maybe you're unpracticed at a lot of these tools. Like you're still not sure how to create a sacred container for sensual experience. You're not entirely sure of your erotic blueprint, but you're getting like, you know that there are those things, right? And you want them, and maybe you're starting to learn them. You're also learning to love your body exactly the way it is, even if it feels new and uncomfortable at times. And you're beginning to recognize that being flawed is part of being human. And we all got some shit that's fucked up. And that's okay. It's actually dope. At this point, if you're single or dating, you've become far more discerning about who you date and go out with. You know, some red flags are still slipping through. Your attachment style is still getting activated. Like you'll still chase people who aren't really available, but for way less time than before. Like I remember when I was in the basic stage, oh my gosh, I made myself available to these men who were just total fuckboys, and let them just breadcrumb me. I let them breadcrumb me, and sometimes for a really long time, like years or months. And when I got to this phase, it would be like 3 days and I would recognize what was happening and I was like, nope. So you're compressing the time, right? Those patterns might still be there, but they're shorter, they're smaller. You're starting to learn to walk around the pothole instead of falling in it again and again. If you're in relationship, you're starting to bring the truth of the state of your relationship to your partner, right? You're having those difficult conversations. You're expressing, you know what? There are fantasies I would like to experience with you. And I'm a little shy and I'm a little ashamed and I don't know how to do it. But I want to share this part of myself with you because right now we're living under masks. And you're still fumbling, but you're trying. You're clear that not changing and not communicating is also a choice. And it's one that you're no longer willing to make because you want to be a stand for yourself. And my clients tend to come to me in the awakening and stirring phase. And you're here because you want to accelerate the process to go from awakening and stirring to conscious and embodied, which is what I'm about to share with you. And these levels are fucking amazing because this is where your confidence, your frameworks, and your intimate knowledge start to come together in this powerful way. You're having amazing sex. You're attracting amazing partners, right? This is level 4 I'm talking about. You're crystal clear about your intimate desires. You know how to ask for them with ease and grace. And in fact, you've started to love asking for them because you can't believe how much you used to previously deny yourself. You're having those next level experiences regularly. You know how to communicate with your beloved. You know how to say what you like and what you don't. And you can do it with ease. You are invested in your erotic and emotional intelligence because it's changing your life and you're actually like investing money in this process. You have incredible connections. Your partners are high quality and you're going deeper with your beloved than ever before. This is the point where you're starting to date those men and women that you used to think were totally unattainable. And I remember when this started happening for me, when I started dating these men that were incredibly successful and handsome, and I would have these doubts and insecurities and wonder like, well, how did I get them? How did I get that? And that was the awakening phase. And conscious was when I was like, well, of course, this is the kind of man I'm attracting because I'm dope. And you start to own that. You own yourself with confidence in this level, right? This 4th level of the erotic and emotional intelligence pyramid. And if you're hearing this and you're like, I want to get there right now, go to amayashiva.com, go to the right-hand corner, click on that application for a free consult. Don't wait because in 3 to 6 months, you could be here. right? You could be more yourself than you have been in decades or maybe even ever in your life, and unapologetic with your new partners, and not in like a confrontational way, but in a here I am, I love myself so fucking much. And in relationship, you're having deep conversations about what you desire, and you create containers for yourself and your beloved to experience what you have both been yearning for. You know what patterns no longer serve your partnership. You acknowledge them, and you acknowledge them while taking active steps to work with them instead of allowing them to control your automatic emotional responses that you inherited from your parents and that may not actually be useful anymore. Your sex has gone to incredible levels of pleasure. You really love your person. Your person really loves you. This doesn't mean you're agreeing on everything all the time. Conflict is a part of relationship, but there's this deep attunement and connection. The highest level on this pyramid is embodied. When you're embodied, you effortlessly attract what you desire in and out of the bedroom. You have fallen in love with all parts of yourself, including the ones that you use to shame and hide. And you are a literal magnet for people around you. You're exploring your desires without fear or shame, and you have this radiant peace and confidence. Like when you walk into a room, people feel you. And it's not arrogant. It's so relaxed. It's easy. And that ease invites people in, right? You radiate, this is my temple. I am a temple. People just want to be around you because you feel so safe and nourishing to them. And when you're here and you're dating, you really move through the dating world from this place of abundance. You never worry about finding a date or a romantic partner. Like before I did this work, I'm a hopeless romantic. I would always have these fantasies about going to the conference or the event and meeting the person and having a romantic rendezvous for the weekend or, a romantic tryst in Europe. And I wasn't getting them in the way I wanted. I used to have a habit of actually turning away from men that I found attractive. It's not a very useful tool for getting connection, I will tell you that. But when you're embodied, you don't even have to try. Like you just look at someone, you see, you magnetize, you smile, you're open to it, and you let it come to you, right? You know your boundaries, you love taking care of yourself, and your lovers also love doing the same. And when you're in relationship, this is the relationship that all your friends wish that they had. Like they're pointing at you and saying, damn, I want that. I want that love. I want that heat, that spiciness, right? You're deeply in love. You have incredible sex that is sacred and connected consistently. I'm telling you, I have gotten messages from clients saying, Amaya, I just had a triple orgasm, and messages telling me that physical intimacy is like a spiritual experience and that they are almost in tears daily because they cannot believe the level of connection that they have in their relationship. This is what happens in the embodied level. If anybody is hearing this and saying, oh my fucking God, I want to be embodied, you are in the right place. And if you're recognizing that you're still at the lower levels, you're feeling like, damn, I don't want to stay here now that I know what's possible. I'm tired of attracting emotionally unavailable people or being perpetually single. And I want high value partners in my life. How do I do that? If you are committed to becoming embodied so that you can have a true romance, all you have to do is go to amayashiva.com. Click on that link to apply for a free consult. Book that call. We'll get clear on the 2 to 3 next steps that are really going to move the needle for you. And if it's a great fit, I will be your cheerleader and guide through this process. And trust me when I say this work works. In 3 to 6 months' time, you could be having an entirely new experience. And I want that for you. Sending you so much love and light. If you are on YouTube, I'd love for you to drop in the comments what level you're at and what's really landing for you about that and where you want to go. If you're on Spotify or any other streaming platform, please like and save this episode, share with your friends. And as always, I love connecting with you. Go to my website, get that free consult, and become part of my community, because that's where the real healing happens. When you have a group of like-minded people that are cheering you on, that are celebrating your uniqueness, your full radiant expression, that accept your sexuality, this changes your whole world, I promise. Thank you again for listening. This is your Sexual Revolution, the podcast, and I'll see you all again soon.